That photograph, it ain't much to look at. Just a young woman with wind-blown hair standing beside a picket fence. But that's me. Lord, it's strange to say it out loud. Me, before the wrinkles, before the silver hair, before life got so full of quiet moments. The man beside me? That was Thomas. My Thomas. The one who taught me how to whistle, how to dance barefoot in the grass, and how to dream a little bigger than our tiny town would allow. We met one summer afternoon by the lake, back when laughter came easy, and the radio was always playing something sweet. He'd brought his old guitar, and I was sitting on the dock, pretending to read a book I wasn't even looking at. He started singing, and I swear, the world just tilted for a second. I looked up, and there he was. Eyes brighter than sunlight on water. I didn't know it then, but that song was gonna follow me my whole life. He asked me to dance that night at the county fair. I told him no twice just to see if he'd ask again. He did, bless his heart. And that was that. From then on, every summer smelled like his cologne and fresh hay. Oh, darling, I know I wander in my tales, but that's what memories do. They slip and slide like soap in the bath. Now, where was I? Oh, the photograph, yes. That was taken the morning we decided to get married. Not a fancy ceremony. Just the two of us under the old oak tree near Miller's farm, with the preacher's wife humming a hymn and the cicadas singing back up. We didn't even have a ring. He tied a little ribbon around my finger, said, "Someday I'll get you the real one. But for now, this'll do." And it sure did. We built a life, slow and steady. The kind where you hang laundry on a line and the smell of biscuits means it's Sunday. He worked at the mill. I kept house. And in the evenings we'd sit on the porch with our coffee and watch the sunset melt behind the hills. We didn't need much. Love filled every space that money couldn't. Oh, but time. Time's a tricky thing, baby. It sneaks up quiet, like fog rolling in. And before you know it, your hair's silver, your kids have kids. And the man who held your hand through every storm ain't sitting beside you anymore. It was the winter of '64 when he passed. Pneumonia, they said. Just 3 days. That's all it took. The house went still. Even the floorboards stopped creaking like they knew not to make a sound. I remember sitting right there, holding that photograph in my lap, whispering to it like it could whisper back. I told him I wasn't ready to be alone. I still had coffee left to pour, stories left to tell. You know, sugar. Life don't ask if you're ready. It just keeps going. And somehow, you learn to keep up. You sweep the porch. You water the plants. You bake enough pies to feed half the town. Because doing keeps you from crying. I reckon that's what saved me. Now I'll tell you something I haven't told many. There was a letter, too. The day after he passed, the postman brought it. Just one envelope, his handwriting right on the front. It said, "For my darling, open when you miss me most." Oh, honey. My hands shook so bad I nearly tore it. Inside, he'd written just a few lines. "If you're reading this, then I'm gone. But don't you dare stop laughing. Don't you dare stop dancing. Love me by living your days loud and bright. I'll be waiting, always." I kept that letter folded inside the photograph, right there in that drawer. Every time life got heavy, when the crops failed, when Mama passed, when the bills piled up higher than hope, I'd pull that drawer open and remind myself, he told me to keep living, and so I did. Oh, sweetheart, before I forget, if you're sitting here listening and feeling something stir inside you, maybe thinking about someone you loved and lost, would you do me a little favor? Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Not for me, but so More hearts can find a bit of comfort in these stories. Sometimes hearing another soul's truth can make your own hurt feel just a little lighter. Now, after Thomas passed, I stayed in that same little house. Folks said I should move in with my sister, but I couldn't bear to leave the smell of him. His books, his pipe, the sound of his boots by the door. It took me years to understand that leaving the house didn't mean leaving him behind. So I stayed, and life, in its strange way, brought new chapters. There was a neighbor boy, Jimmy, about 8 years old. He used to bring me wildflowers and ask 100 questions. Why do clouds move? Why do you talk to yourself? Why don't you get a new TV? I'd just laugh and tell him. Some things don't need replacing. Jimmy, they just need remembering. He'd nod like he understood, though he probably didn't. That boy grew up, went off to the city, and every Christmas he sends me a postcard. Always writes the same thing. Don't forget to dance. Just like Thomas said, it's funny how love leaves echoes, even in people who weren't there when it began. I like to think those echoes are how souls stay stitched together across time. You know, there was one spring, must have been 10 years after Thomas was gone, when I finally took that photograph out of the drawer and set it by the window. I wanted it to see the sunlight again. And would you believe? A cardinal landed right outside that window, red as a heart. Stayed there a good long while, just staring in at me. Folks say cardinals mean someone's visiting from heaven. Maybe that's true, maybe it ain't. But I swear, I felt him near. I smiled, and for the first time in years, it didn't hurt so bad. Now don't go getting misty-eyed on me, sweetheart. These old bones are used to the ache. But promise me something. Don't hide your happy memories away in drawers. Keep 'em where the light can touch 'em. And if ever life feels too heavy, just remember, love don't end. It just changes rooms, though. And while you're here, sugar, if my rambling has made you smile or think of someone dear, why don't you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe? Not because I said so, but because it's a small way of saying, keep telling these stories, Grandma. And that means more to me than you'll ever know. Now, where was I? Yes. After that spring, life slowed down. The seasons came and went. I planted tomatoes out back. I learned to knit. Terribly, mind you. And I started writing little notes to Thomas every Sunday. Silly things like, the garden's growing fine, or, I burned the cornbread again. I tucked them behind the photograph. I suppose it was my way of keeping our conversation going. Love doesn't stop talking, baby. It just changes how it speaks. You know, sometimes when I tell this story, folks ask why I never remarried. I always laugh and say, darling, you only need one great love in this lifetime. Any more and your heart'd run out of space. Truth is, I did get asked once, kind man, kind eyes. But my heart was still holding Thomas's hand. You can't let go of that kind of love just 'cause time says you should. Now, honey, I want you to do something for yourself. If there's someone you care about, someone you've been meaning to call or write to, don't wait. Go on and reach out. Tell 'em they matter. We never know how long we've got to say the simple things. That's the lesson I learned from that photograph in the drawer. That every day we breathe is a chance to love again. And while I've got your sweet ears listening, do me one more kindness. Like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can sit by this fire with us. Maybe someone out there needs this story tonight and don't even know it yet. Now let me take a sip of my tea before I keep rambling. My throat's as dry as old summer wheat. There we go. You still with me, sugar? Good. There's more to tell, 'cause that photograph, It held a secret I didn't find till years later. It held a secret I didn't find till years later. I was dusting one afternoon. Must have been sometime in the late 70s. When the drawer stuck a little, I tugged and out slipped the photograph and that old letter. But there was something else behind it. Tucked so deep it must have been hiding there for decades. A second envelope, yellowed, edges curled. My name written on it in Thomas's hand. Only this time it said, "Open when you're ready to forgive." Forgive? Lord, that word stopped me cold. Forgive who? Him, me, life itself? I didn't know. I sat there for a long while just holding it, listening to the clock tick like a heartbeat. Part of me wanted to tear it open right then and there, but another part whispered, "Not yet." So I tucked it back under the photograph and left it be. Years passed. Seasons came and went like polite visitors. I'd glance at that drawer every now and then, wondering what forgiveness he meant. Did he do something I didn't know about? Or maybe he just knew I'd spend too many nights blaming myself for not saving him. Oh, honey, grief's got a way of twisting truth till you can't tell love from guilt. It wasn't until the day of my 70th birthday that I finally opened that envelope. The house was quiet, too quiet, the kind that hums, the kind that makes memories louder. I made myself a cup of tea, sat by the window and pulled that letter out. The paper was brittle, but his words, they were alive as ever. He'd written, "If you're reading this, then I know the years have worn on you. I know you've carried me like a stone in your pocket. But you gotta let me rest, my love. Forgive yourself for not stopping the storm. Forgive me for leaving early. The world was never meant to be perfect, only shared. Oh, I wept, sweetheart. I wept till the sun went down. And then I laughed too, because I finally understood. He didn't leave me. He just went ahead to set the table. That's what forgiveness felt like. Breathing again after holding it for 40 years. After that day, I started living lighter. I baked again, laughed louder, even went dancing once at the town hall. The band was playing